City, a little town where I'm from, where everybody's southern raised, just as good as they come. Backwoods and mossy oak and mud holes. And back then we only ate what the farm grow. Man, I miss some days how we played on them dirt roads. And out of towners came with respect, cause they know we all close. Yeah, Southern pride, towing gun folks. Welcome to my city, I-75 South, just north of Live Oak.
I'm from a city called Austin, Georgia, right on the border of Florida. I was raised on these dirt roads, mud tires, spin backwoods when they ride this small town living, yeah. Now welcome to my city, time of town, tonight, turn it up so they can hear it loud. We get it up with big trucks and heavy G's, pretty girls with moonshine and whiskey.
It's nothing like our dirt roads, you can bet that, son. I'm from a city, by any means, we gon' protect our guns. I hang with the rednecks and geekies. We get up in big trucks in the backwoods like Indians and teepees. This the home of the mighty, mighty Vikings. Wildcats, blazing, Titletown license. Winners, pretty girls with country grammar. When I say about Austin, Georgia, I ain't talking about Atlanta. This a different type of city, where the woods are pretty, but get gritty. You hear me? What you know about that 229? You can find us on the Florida, Georgia line, where I reside.
I'm from a city called Austin, Georgia, right on the border of Florida. I was raised on these dirt roads, mud tires, spin backwoods when we ride this small town living, yeah. Now welcome to my city, time of town, tonight, turn it up so they can hear it loud. We get it up with big trucks and heavy G's, pretty girls with moonshine and whiskey. Moonshine and whiskey.
Some folks really don't understand how important it is and never forget where you came from. You know, when I say Lowndes County, man, I mean Lowndes County.
I'm from a city called Austin, Georgia, right on the border of Florida. I was raised on these dirt roads, mud tires, spin backwoods when we ride this small town living, yeah. Now welcome to my city, time of town, tonight, turn it up so they can hear it loud. We get it up with big trucks and heavy G's, pretty girls with moonshine and whiskey.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Thursday night. Welcome to the 229. Listen, every time I watch that countdown video and it goes through the scenes of mud bogging and riding the dirt roads, that kind of stuff, it takes me down memory lane. It really does. It's a fun experience every single Thursday night for about 3 minutes. I think about my childhood in the backwoods of Berrien County and running all the dirt roads, that kind of stuff. And you probably had a very similar experience if you grew up in Lowndes County. But you know what? We're here to talk about the Viking Nation tonight. Welcome to Thursday night. And you know what time that is? 7 o'clock every Thursday night. It's a trip down memory lane and the Viking Nation Live. So I'm glad to have you guys on aboard. I'm Larry Godwin, your host. LG, Brian Spray, fresh out of the gate. Claudia Noel Martin, fresh out of the gate. Both of them say good evening. Hey, Luke Bush, great day to be one Lowndes. Absolutely. Luke, I saw you a little bit earlier this evening, man. We were celebrating a pretty big deal. When I say a pretty big deal, I mean a really big deal. It was open house night at the new multi-purpose. You guys thought I was going to call it the indoor practice facility. No, we had an open house at the multi-purpose indoor facility. I think it's the multi-purpose facility. I think that's what it's called on the campus of Lowndes High School. Man, that camp is rocking and rolling right now. You really want to be a part. Listen, I'm going to have a heart-to-heart talk with you guys for about 30 seconds. And then I want to start clowning around again because that's what we do on the show. We just have a good time. But I'm going to have a really serious heart-to-heart talk with you guys for about 30 seconds, I think. Maybe a little bit longer than that. And some of you need to know this, and some of you need to be reminded of this. Regardless of the noise that's going on in the community, that kind of stuff will take care of itself. It just needs time. It'll take care of itself. Other people involved. You know what I'm talking about. But in the meantime, don't lose sight. Don't lose vision of the good thing that we have going here in the Lowndes community. And I'm glad Luke Bush posted. Let me just go ahead and share this comment that Luke put on the street. He says, "Go Vikings, great day to be a part." And here's the key: one Lowndes. That's what we are, right? Regardless of what's going on in the community. I was talking to a board member tonight at the open house at the multi-purpose facility, and he said, "You know what? Regardless of all the noise that's going on right now, I'm glad it's going on because that shows us that the community cares about our community." And what a great perspective to have. All this stuff will take care of itself. But in the meantime, let's all celebrate the good that's happening in the Viking Nation right now. Can we agree to do that? Let's do that. That's what this show is all about. So we are going to celebrate everything last. And we got a great, fun show for you tonight. We got football and baseball combined on the same show. You guys know what I'm talking about. At about 7:10, just a couple minutes, Ryan Page, the head coach of the Lowndes High baseball team, will be calling into the show. And we're going to be talking about the really good season they're having as they prepare to enter the playoffs, because some congratulations are in order for Coach Page, and we'll get into that. And then a little bit later on in the show, Don Bailey. You may not recognize the name. Now, if you're close to the football program, you may. But for the rest of us, you may not recognize that name because he's a first-year guy at Lowndes. He is the new offensive coordinator for the Lowndes football team in the Adam Carter era. And I had a pretty good conversation with him tonight. He's agreed to call into the show. We're going to get to know him. We're going to talk about his offensive football philosophy, give you guys a chance to ask questions, that kind of stuff. We're going to have a good time on the show tonight. I promise you. Okay, so stick with me. Stick with me. Hey, before Coach Page calls into the show, I want to make sure I give recognition to our sponsors that make all this stuff happen. And first, off the bat, out of the gate, is Pepsi of Valdosta. Thank you so much to Doyer Deloach and all the fine folks there at Pepsi of Valdosta. You guys know these brands by now: Pepsi, Mountain Dew, Rockstar, Mountain Dew Energy, Mountain Dew Spark, and the new Starry drink, the new limited lime drink, available at all your retail outlets. So gobble it up because it's good stuff. So thank you so much to Pepsi of Valdosta. We also want to thank Kyle Conger, our friend, and the head of White Oak Investment. Listen, let's be honest. The economy's not so great right now. And you might have some money in the stock market. You might have some money in other places, and you're kind of nervous. But why don't you give Kyle a call and so he can calm you down? So can we do that? So let's do that. So thank you so much to White Oak Investment, Kyle Conger, for sponsoring the Viking Nation. And if you want to provide some comments, go ahead and put them in the White Oak Investment comment line. Let's go ahead and take this call, and we'll come back to our sponsors because I got a feeling I know who this is. Hey, caller, welcome to the Viking Nation Live. What's on your mind?
Hey, Larry, it's Ryan Page.
Coach Page, how are you, my man?
I'm doing great. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. I'm going to put your smiley picture on the screen so everybody can see you as you call in. Hey, listen, first of all, congratulations on a fine baseball year. I think we are safe to say that you are the Region 1-7A baseball champions, aren't we?
Yes, sir. We wrapped that up the other night against Valdosta, and very good close ball game, hard-fought game between two pretty good teams, and wrapped it up. So we are the region champions this year.
Wow, that's awesome, man. Congratulations. And I might add, you're region champs with a 9-0 region record so far.
Yes, sir. So far,
you got one more big game left.
Right? Well, we got two. We got a doubleheader tomorrow night at Valdosta, and try to do something we ain't done in a long time, and that's go undefeated in the region. But it's going to be a tough task. Valdosta's got two pretty good arms they're going to throw at us, so we'll go over there and see what we can do.
You guys are ready, man. We got all. Hey, you're right. You're stepping behind enemy lines. You got two pretty good pitchers coming at you, but you guys have faced pretty good teams all year long. You know, the overall record, around 15-11, something like that. But you've played some really, really, really tough out-of-town teams, and I think it's on purpose to get you ready for region play and ultimately for the playoffs. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, I never want to claim that I learned anything from Danny Redshaw. One of the things that and me and Danny are cut from the same cloth when it comes to those kind of things. I want to play the best. I want our program to be talked about nationally. I want our program to be, one that people talk about. And and the only way to do that is to go play those elite teams and those elite programs, and help our kids understand where we're at and where we're trying to go and what we're trying to do. So I think. At one point in time, I have to be honest with you, I haven't looked at the national rankings in a while, but we played 2 teams in the top 10 in the nation and then 3 teams in the top 25. We faced probably 2 of the best arms in the country, guys that are touching 94, 95. And I think we went on a stretch there of 8 or 9 games where the worst arm we saw was 87, 88 from the left side. It was a tough stretch of ball games, but that's why we did it. It's not just about the region. We want to get prepared for the region and have a good region run. But at the end of the day, we want to compete for state championships. We want to go and make some noise in the playoffs. And the reality is when you go play them Atlanta schools, those are the arms you're going to get.
That's right.
Those are the people you're going to face.
Absolutely. So, let's talk a little bit. I know you got 2 games left against Valdosta. It's kind of, as a coach, I know what you're going to say. Let's not look too far ahead, right?
Yeah.
But as you prepare for the playoffs, heading into the postseason, in the last 2 seasons, you guys have made some deep runs, and you just touched on getting ready for the Metro Atlanta teams. Getting close to the last couple of years. What has that taught you and about the postseason play and do you plan to do anything different, or is it you going with your horses and you just what happens?
Yeah, well, you go in with the guys that you've been going to war with all year, and for us, the last couple of years, we just hit. I thought we hit our stride real early in the year. We started out really hot. And just kind of fizzled towards the end. And, so I'm hoping this year with the slow start we had this year, and, we've been playing much better lately and pitching better and hitting better and defending better. And, we started to put things together more towards the middle of the season. So we're hoping that carries us even farther this year into the playoffs. But as well as I do, it's all about who you run into and when you run into them. Right. So I think we've got a favorable bracket. It gives us an opportunity to play and hopefully the first 2 rounds, or, if we can get by the first round, then, we got the first 2 at home. So that's definitely advantage Lowndes High School. And we want to, try to take advantage of that and get in that Elite 8. And we're going to end up playing a really good North Paulding or Grayson or Brookwood or somebody, even a North Gwinnett who's ranked in the top 5 at that point in time. So at that point, it's just about who's hot, who's playing well, and who gets the breaks. And, we'll go in there and battle and compete and see what happens.
Absolutely. Hey, as the season has gone on, you talked about getting off to a slow start. The team seems to be catching their stride. Talk about some of the kids that you knew was due for a breakout year, some surprises, as well as the kids that you knew was going to deliver, and they did deliver.
Well, we've had several kids, step up that were returners. We returned a lot of offense. To be honest with you, obviously Sermons was our best hitter last year, and he returned this year. And, he had a little bit of a slow start, but he's turned it on lately, swinging it really well. Quay Lott, our center fielder, he literally carried the team early in the year. First half of the year, he was the only guy that was really swinging it well. And literally, I know his legs are tired and his back hurts from carrying us for the first half. But, he's continued to swing it well. He cooled off a little bit. But Cooper Melvin has probably been the biggest, which he was a great hitter last year. He's been a great hitter. But, I'd be shocked if he's not going to end up being our Region 1 7A Player of the Year. He's swung it really well, done really well. Coleman Lewis, who was just a sophomore. Many of you probably know him more from the football side of things, but he's a big athletic kid. He's played baseball with me his whole life, and he's had a really good year. He's turned it on. And from a pitching standpoint, Ashton Bowler really has stepped up Him and Luke Register and Caleb Thornton have been our three horses in region play and got the majority of the innings. And all three of those guys, were good, pleasant surprises. Obviously losing Thigpen, who was, should have probably been our number one, really hurt. But we got really good news today. He's going to be allowed to throw up to 50 pitches on Tuesday. That would be his first innings of the year. So getting him back possibly for a little bit of a playoff run would really give us a shot in the arm and a boost. But, we've had a lot of kids step up that have played well, but, the main guys are our main guys. They're the guys that have played well. Cooper Scruggs played really well early in the year and gave us a real shot in the arm. And then Jordan Hudson's come on late. He got an opportunity and took advantage of it, had 2 home runs the other night and a single, RBI single that made a difference. So it's truly a team effort with our ball club right now. I mean, there's not one guy that's just going out there and just, blowing it up or doing anything. It seems like it's a different guy every night. And it's been fun to watch. I'm really proud of the boys and the way that they've competed.
That's great to hear. One of our viewers was asking about Thigpen, so I'm glad to hear that he's on the mend and he's on his way back. Listen, it doesn't matter if I talk to a baseball coach, basketball, football. They always tell me that every team that they have every year is always a little bit unique versus the year before. So what's been the identity of this squad that you've been commanding this year? Are they a scrappy bunch, blue collar, superstar kids? What's the identity of this team?
This is probably, and this is just, it is what it is. I'm going to say it like it is. This has been the hardest group of young men I've ever had to coach. And that's not in a negative way. We have a bunch of kids that are confident. They feel really confident about their abilities. I say we got the biggest group of smart tails in the world, and got some cockiness and arrogance to us. And, we just got a whole gamut of different types of attitudes and abilities. And so trying to adjust to all that has been a challenge. I'm not going to lie to you, but at the end of the day, we got a bunch of guys that you want to get in a bunker with and fight with. And they love to compete. And at the end of the day, that's what you got to have at this level. And I said at the beginning of the year, it's going to be a hard group to coach, but at the same time, we've got a bunch of guys that just love the game and, they're fun to go to war with.
Absolutely. Hey, Coach, listen, when it comes to athletics, whether you're talking about the Pee Wee level or the pros, nothing wrong with having a little bit of swagger behind your skill, right?
Absolutely. And then we've got a lot of that. So, I'm hoping that swagger carries us on and plays in the playoffs for a little while. So, and it's not an arrogance. It's not but it's just we've got some guys that they feel good about themselves and it's fun. It really is. It makes the locker room fun, the dugout fun. It's, they're just, that confidence is good to have in a ball club.
Absolutely. Coach, one of our viewers, Franklin Webb, says, congratulations, Coach. I've enjoyed watching the baseball team this year. Let's sweep the Cats.
Amen. I agree with you, Franklin. I appreciate it. And, that's the goal. Everybody asks, are we going to, maybe get some guys some innings and do some things to change things up? And the answer is no. We're going to go try to win baseball games. And with obviously if it was maybe a different team on the other side of the field, maybe we would do some of those things. But at the end of the day, it's the Cats, the boys, they talk about these games for years. And
absolutely,
it means a lot to each one of those kids. And so we'll run our best out there and hopefully try to do something that, I don't know that anybody's done in a long time, and that's run through a region undefeated.
Absolutely. Hey, final question for you before I let you go. I know you got a couple baseball games to prepare for, but I had a chance to go to the open house of the multi-purpose facility today, and I wanted you to touch on as a baseball coach I guess really the environment around Lowndes athletics right now with all the facilities upgrades. Talk about not just the facilities and how important those are, but how important community support and administration support is to allow you to have stuff like that.
I'll be honest with you. I don't know when these other coaches come in and these, and we talk to them about, what Lowndes is doing and, where they're at and what's going on and just seeing the disbelief and stuff. Sometimes you just got to pinch yourself because,
right.
Our administration is unbelievable. The efforts that they, Miss McCall is a huge sports fan. She's at everything. She's constantly asking about things. Most of our APs are at almost everything. And Dr. Harrelson has just been really, really awesome to work with. He's got a drive and a passion for facilities and doing the right things and helping our clubs and all our clubs, all our sports and athletics. And it's huge. It really is. I mean, I'll tell a quick story. Gary Sheffield's son came in and played with Jesuit earlier in the year, and he walked around for a little while and was just blown away. Just couldn't believe that it was a high school facility. And, even made the comment that, man, if I'd have known this was here 8 months ago, my kid would have been here. So it's a big deal. It's huge. And like I said, we have the facilities. We did a lot in the baseball locker room and got it upgraded and did some things. And I think the basketball are all upgrading their locker rooms and doing things. It's huge from a coach's standpoint just to have that support. And we couldn't do it without the community. I mean, everything we did in the locker room just about was through the Booster Club, and the school system did the lockers and stuff and helped us out with some other things. But the majority of the money that was spent in there was through the community, and we can't do it without the community support. They've been tremendous and awesome. But everybody I talk to in the community says the same thing. Everybody takes pride in Lowndes High School. If you're a Valdosta fan, you take pride in Valdosta. It's truly title town, and I love being where I'm at, and I'm truly blessed to be there.
Absolutely. So, Coach, best of luck. Hey, one last comment from Matthew Bradshaw. He's chiming in on the comment line tonight. He says, this is pretty good. I'm going to put this on the screen. He says, Lowndes baseball is going to be the talk of the town for the next several years. Great group of boys from the 12th grade to the freshman team.
Yeah, and he's not wrong. We've got great kids and very athletic kids, and there's a lot of potential there, and I'm going to try my best not to screw it up.
Well, you didn't screw it up this year. In the last 3 years in a row, you've had a pretty good team, Coach, and you're capping it off with a region championship this year, heading into the postseason after a couple of games with Valdosta. So congratulations and best of luck in the playoffs.
Thanks, Larry. Appreciate you having me on, buddy, and thank you again.
Thanks, Coach. Good night.
All right. See you, bud.
Hey, there he is. That was fun, right? I told you, guys, this is going to be a fun show tonight. We've had a pretty good start so far. In a few minutes, we're expecting Don Bailey, the offensive coordinator for the Lowndes Vikings football team, to call in. And this is just what we do. This is just what we do. I heard a comment tonight about, well, I'm not going to say the exact comment, but listen, there are other media outlets that always focus on the negative. And that's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. And I don't mind that as long as you balance it with the good things that are going on as well. It's important to keep the public informed about what's going on. But my gosh, man, let's talk about the good stuff too, right? And there's a lot, and trust me, there is a lot of good stuff that's going on in Lowndes County schools right now. My wife's a school teacher, so I hear it all the time up at Hayhira. I hear about at Lowndes High School. People call me, parents call me. I had a chance to talk to several football players, rising seniors tonight. I mean, they love the environment of Lowndes athletics. So let's celebrate the great as well as explore the more challenging things. Can I put it that way diplomatically? Let's do that. Okay. Hey, let's see. Alan McClendon says, what time does the doubleheader start tomorrow across town? Alan, I think it starts, according to the schedule on Max Preps, it starts at 5 o'clock. If you are in touch with the baseball team or you're close to it, and if that's incorrect, please correct us. But according to the Max Preps schedules, the doubleheader starts at 5 o'clock. So hopefully that's correct. So as we wait for Coach Beto to call in, we got about 5 minutes. It gives me enough time to thank some of these other sponsors that I didn't get a chance to. We talked about Kyle Conger at White Oak Investments. So thank you so much, Kyle, for supporting our program. Thank you so much to longtime Lowndes advocate, and that is Timmy Neesmith, Stickman, as we love to call him. Right. So we want to celebrate his company called A Shade of Perfection. Guys, if you have a need, I mean, this time of year, springtime, it's house selling season. And I'm not saying this if you just want to sell your house, but obviously this time of year, people start selling their house, that kind of stuff. You want them to have the best curb appeal possible. what better way to do it to make the first thing that people see outside of your yard, things like that. When they look at the house, I always notice windows, and most people do too, right? So let Tim help you customize your shades and blinds with a shade of perfection. That's his company. And if you're not in the market to sell your house and you just want to make your house as beautiful as possible, he can help you with that too. So whatever you do, give Tim a call. Thank you so much, Tim Neesmith, Shade of Perfection, 229-251-3479. We also want to thank these guys. I call them my favorite knuckleheads in town. That's Josh Batson and Justin Haskin. I call them knuckleheads because they are Florida Gator fans, but I still love them. I forgive them for that. I still love them. That's okay. They sponsor our program. They're part of our community. And outside of that little snafu, a character flaw, Florida Gators, that kind of stuff. No, seriously. These are great guys. They really are. And they are certified headache medicine specialists. So guys, if you have a need for a variety of migraine or back pain treatments, these guys can get it done. They really can. You hear rave reviews about these guys all the time. So thank you so much to the Migraine and Spine Clinic of Valdosta. They also are sponsors of our hotline at 229-469-1205. We want to thank Matthew Godwin at Verizon Wireless on Perimeter. There's not a week that goes by that I don't get a handful of calls from people in the community that says, hey, your bud Matthew Godwin is the real deal at Verizon Wireless on Perimeter Road. So if you have the need for iPhones, Androids, accessories, or small business accounts, Matthew Godwin can surely help you out. He's at Verizon Wireless on Perimeter Road. We want to thank Chandler Kudik. This time of year, you start getting your pool ready. And I live in the Stone Creek community, so we have a community Facebook page. And I saw yesterday that people are getting their pools ready. They want to know about pool cleaning companies with great service and awesome rates. Well, it doesn't get any more awesome and better rates than AquaWorks Pool Company, Chandler Kudik, a Lowndes County product. You can give him a call at 229-415-0752. And that's Chandler Kudik, and he's with the AquaWorks Pool Company. Thank you so much, Chandler, for sponsoring our program. And finally, we want to thank Tony Green and Trey Hatcher with Imperial Auto Sales. They've got 2 locations to serve your automotive needs. That's Ashley Street and Bay Tree Road. That's Imperial Auto Sales. You don't have to take my word for it. Go on Google reviews. Look at what other people say about these guys, and you know them. They have been stellar pillars of our community. Tony Green, Trey Hatcher with Imperial Auto Sales. So give them a shout if you have a need for a car. Thank you so much to all of our sponsors. There's others coming, so just be patient. They're on the way. That's all I can tell you. They're on the way. Donna Snellgrove says they did wonders for my daughter's headache. Obviously, Donna is talking about Josh Batson and Justin Haskin at the Migraine and Spine Clinic. Yeah, good to know. That's great to know, Donna. They do specialize, especially in acute migraine treatments. That is really in their wheelhouse. And these two guys, my favorite knuckleheads, they know what they're doing when it comes to treating migraines and back pain treatments. Coach Trainer says, yeah, can't forget the pools and Larry's community pool party. Now, don't start that rumor, Trainer. Don't start that rumor. That ain't happening. Suzanne Bowler says 5 and 7. Oh, you're talking about the start of the baseball games tomorrow night. Thank you so much, Suzanne. Your son plays on the baseball team. So first pitch at 5 o'clock, the nightcap at 7:30. Let's go to the White Oak Investment Hotline. Hey, caller, welcome to the Viking Nation Live. What's on your mind?
Hey, Larry, this is Don Bailey.
Coach Bailey, how the heck are you?
Hey, good. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Listen, I gotta get your mug on the screen. Hold on to you. So there he is, guys.
No, I only. Hey, my face is only good at radio now. It's not built for TV now. Okay, so
that's good stuff. Hey, Coach. First of all, welcome to the Lowndes community. Welcome to the Viking Nation. We are thrilled as a community to have you and really all the new coaches here at Lowndes football. So when did you move in?
I got here, my very first day at Lowndes was February 1st. I've been here a couple months, and Coach Carter has done a great job of assembling a bunch of guys that are really ball coaches and teachers, and they're great with kids, and he's assembled a good staff, and we can't wait to get going for spring ball here.
Absolutely. Well, before we get to spring ball, let's let the community get to know you a little bit. So you've got over 30 years of coaching experience. Is that right?
You're exactly right.
Okay.
So I've been to a few places. I think I've coached in every region of the United States. So believe it or not. So I've been a lot of places.
Yeah. So when you add your time of playing football and 30 years of coaching football, can you remember when you were not a part of a football program?
No, probably when I was 5, I guess. Probably. That's the last time. But no, yeah. I mean, it's been a great journey, and every time a new place is a new adventure, and it's great to be here.
Absolutely. Listen, you graduated and you began your career at Portland State University, where you had 2 conference championships. And since then, you've had a ton of experience, especially at the college level. You've been a very successful college football coach. But I'm curious, and a lot of people in our community are curious, why did you decide to, I don't know if step down is the right word. Why did you decide to move to the high school football level?
Well, I have a son that's going to be a senior still. And so I really wanted to be able to coach him and watch him. And I have a daughter that's also a sophomore. So they'll be coming to Lowndes. They're finishing the semester in Tuscaloosa, and then they will be here in the fall. So or this summer. So I really was looking forward to that. And so. Like I said, I've been a lot of places. I've seen a lot of things, and but I wanted to have a chance to coach my own kids.
Absolutely. Guys, if you're just now tuning into the Viking Nation Live here on Thursday night, what the heck? What's taking you so long? No, I'm just kidding. We've got Don Bailey, Coach Don Bailey. He is the new offensive coordinator for the Lowndes football team, and so we are welcoming him to the community. Coach, back in 2014, you were named the FCS Coordinator of the Year, and you've had you've coached 4 NFL draft picks, 37 NFL free agents. What is it about your coaching style that makes it so effective?
Well, I grew up. I cut my teeth. Al Borges, who was the coordinator at Auburn, and he's been at Michigan. He's retired now in Michigan. But I played for Al Borges at Portland State.
Okay.
Way back in the day when I had hair, and and so I cut my teeth in coaching and playing for him, and he actually got me into coaching. So he's been one of a great mentor for me, and I started playing for him and then coaching. He asked me to coach. He asked me if I liked money. And I said, well, I got to pay the power bill. He said, if you like money, don't coach. That's what he said.
Oh my gosh.
Right out of the gate. But no, he's been a great mentor for me. And that's kind of how I started coaching, was as soon as I got done at Portland State. And then everything has kind of progressed from there. In 2014, we led the, FCS in total offense, that year. Averaging about 562 a game. So we threw for 3. We led the NCAA FCS in passing at 348, and we rushed for 215 a game. So, and that was just a culmination. Now, when we had gotten to Idaho State at the time, they had not been very good, and so but we played in a dome, and we played at about 4,500 feet, and but we played some exciting football, and that brand of football will be what we'll be trying to to do here at Lowndes, and we will do some similar things to what we did back then.
Coach, I think you've just about killed off my entire audience from heart attacks tonight. All across the Viking Nation, everyone is having heart attacks based on what you just said. No, listen, I have to confess something to you. I just remembered, I think I lied to you. When I met you tonight at the open house at the multipurpose facility, we were talking about you coming onto the show, and I said, Coach, the first question I'm going to ask you that everyone has that wants me to ask you, and here we are 5-6 questions deep, but you knew this question was coming, and I think you've already told us, but do you plan to throw the ball?
Yes. I mean, my answer is yes. I mean, we got to be able to do a lot of things. So it's not just throw the ball. I've been at a part of some places where we threw the ball 50 plus times, and other places where, 35 times, but we will throw the ball. I think to be competitive today, and with all the different types of defenses that you see at every level, I think you have to be able to do both. I think against the very best defenses that you'll face, I think it's hard to be one-dimensional. So I think, and the talent and the personnel will dictate how much we throw and how much we run. But we definitely want to do both.
I got you. If you had to describe your offense, whether it's a spread or a run and shoot or a air raid or West Coast, we're talking to novices like me and our audience, and we only understand buzzwords. What label would you put on your offense?
Well, we're a spread offense that we run a lot of RPO stuff, and we throw a lot of 4 vertical things. So I think you got to stretch the defense down the field, and with that opens up the running game, and the running game can open up the passing game. But we're primarily a spread, but we can use a lot of different groups. So it's not like 4 wides, not like the air raid where we're going to throw it 75 times a game. It's certainly not that, but we want to be able to stretch the field both horizontally and vertically. So we want to be able to spread people out and then take advantage of one-on-ones all over the place.
God, man, that is music to our ears. A couple of our viewers had some questions for you. One is they missed the part where you talked about your son. What position does your son play?
Well, he plays wide receiver. He was an all-state wide receiver in Alabama at Sipsey Valley High School. He caught 51 balls for 1,000 yards and 15 touchdowns. And then he also played some corner. He also had 76 tackles and 6 picks as a sophomore last year, or as a junior, this last year. So he's a pretty good player. He runs track. He plays basketball. So he's a 3-sport guy. And, I'm just excited about, coaching my son and being able to spend time with him.
Absolutely. I bet you just made Rashawn Benjamin and Joseph Robinson, the track and basketball coach at Lowndes High School, very, very happy with what you just said.
Well, I've talked to the track coach and we've talked a lot about, some of the things that he does. Now he's a 300 hurdler and a 400 guy.
I got you.
So he's run a 50, 400 and a about a 38, 300 hurdle. So I think I believe he is second in the state in Alabama in 4A right now in the 300 hurdles. And then I think he's like 15th in the 400. So he's doing well. He just enjoys running. And he's had opportunity to play. Now he's got 2 older brothers as well. So I have 4 kids total, but 2 are in college. And then I have a daughter that's a sophomore, and she plays volleyball and basketball.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, we're looking forward to welcoming your entire family to the community. When I was talking to you earlier tonight, I kind of put you on the spot, and I said, Coach, can you describe your offense in 2 sentences or less? You surprised me by describing your offense in 4 words. I don't know if you remember what those words were, but I'm going to
Oh, yeah.
remind you and tell our audience. You said my offense plays fast and scores points.
Yeah, I mean, that's the goal, right? I mean, I want to be able to put pressure on the defense. The offense wants to dictate to the defense, not the other way around. And that's why you got to be able to do both things, run and throw. But we want to be able to play fast and maximize the athletes that we have, and then score points, right? The idea is to score one more than the opponent.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, you can control the game by scoring points, regardless. And that allows you to play from behind or in front or whatever. So, but we want it to be exciting, and offensively, we want to dictate. We don't want to play offense in a defensive manner.
That's right. That's right. So, Coach, you're newer to the community. You've been here since February. You've talked about your offense, what you want to do, but I'm sure you've had a chance to look at game film, look at practice habits, that kind of stuff, look at the player personnel that you're inheriting. What's your initial assessment? I don't expect you to give us all the details, but what's your initial assessment, and what do you think you're going to be doing the first year?
Well, I just think, we have some good athletes here, both up front and in the skill positions. And I'm looking forward to get them on the field and really see what they can do. I've seen the film. I've watched all the film from last season and actually a couple of years back. But and also some of the stuff that Coach Carter was doing at Grayson.
Yeah.
And I just think the plan that Coach Carter has right now with lifting, nutrition, how we go about our business, I think the kids are enjoying it. I think the kids are falling into what we want them to be. But until we get them on the field and all that, it's hard to say at this point, but we're just excited to get on the field and see, how everything shakes out.
Absolutely. Excuse me, Coach. I got to ask you this because it just seems like we've got a bunch of fans that are in love with tight ends for whatever reason. So one of our viewers wants to know, do you plan to implement tight ends in your offense? And if so, what capacity?
Yes, we play with the tight end, and yes, we throw to the tight end. So, that's probably the first question that most offensive coordinators get, no matter where they're at. So, but I think we have a guy here that's pretty damn good. He's athletic, all that stuff. And we always have one on the field. We could put more on the field if we choose to. The last, 12 years in this offense, tight ends have caught 1 million balls. So, Josh Hill, who played for me at Idaho State, caught 180 balls in 2 years and had a 6-year career with the Saints. He was a 6'5", 235-pound kid. So I've had All-Americans. I've had guys catch 50 balls in a season, 60 balls. Okay. So, but we want to utilize the tight end both in the passing game and the running game. And we got to see what they all can do. That's really the bottom line with that. So as we evaluate guys, then we want to see what they can do and how we attack defenses. We'll obviously have a part to do in that as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Guys, if you're just now tuning in, I'm not sure what's wrong with you, but I'm glad you're on board with the Viking Nation Live on Thursday night. We've got on the line with us Don Bailey, the new offensive coordinator there at Lowndes High School. Coach, welcome to the community. Hey, you're the offensive coordinator. Do you have a position that you coach as well?
Yeah, I coach the quarterbacks as well.
Gotcha.
So,
okay.
Yep.
So I know I have to ask you this, as any good sports reporter would do, and you can choose to answer it or you can be diplomatic, but you've had a chance to watch our quarterbacks on tape. Do you expect a quarterback competition, or are we going with Marvis Parrish out of the gate? What's the plan there at the quarterback position?
Oh, it'll be a competition.
Okay.
I mean, again, we want to get everybody on the field and see how they take coaching, how they take how we are going to coach it. Who's the leader on and off the field, you know, who we can get the ball to, all that type of stuff. So
right.
I like what I see. I think we have a pretty good quarterback room right now, and I like what I see, but it'll be a competition. I mean, I think it'll be that way in all 22 positions going into spring.
Man, Coach, you are saying all the right things to our entire Viking Nation community. They love you. I wish you could see the comments because they love it. They really love it. Listen, you've got the spring practice that's opening up pretty soon, May the 4th, I think. So
Correct. Yes.
we've got an intra-squad scrimmage scheduled for that.
Mm-hmm.
So what can the fans expect to see? Because, you know, it's a very short period of time. You're installing a new system. So what can fans expect to see when they see you unveil the new offense during the spring intra-squad scrimmage?
Well, I think something that early with a new coaching staff is, you know, the types of mistakes that guys make.
That's right.
You know, how disciplined are they playing? How hard are they playing? You know, I think those are the things that you got to look at early on. Not so much the flash, but, you know, are they doing, you know, how hard are they playing? And, you know, are we playing the right guys? Are we trying to put guys into positions to make plays? I think that's what you got to look at more than the flash and all that stuff. So, and again, a lot of it's how well they can learn and how fast they pick everything up will dictate a lot of that as well.
I got you. All right. So final question, Coach. So you've been here since February. You've probably had a chance to experience some of our Southern hospitality and, more importantly, Southern cooking down here. What's your favorite food that you've discovered so far?
Well, barbecue is always good.
There you go. There you go.
I mean, that's a given, right?
That's
down
right.
in the
Absolutely.
South. I mean, that's a huge deal. So, but yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong with that. Right?
Absolutely. And we got some good ones down here. That's for sure.
Oh, ain't no question. There's
Absolutely.
no question about that.
Well, Coach, listen, thank you so much for pinch hitting at the last moment. We appreciate you calling in, giving us a sneak peek of what we can expect with the new Lowndes offense, and more importantly, to get to know you in the community. So again, congratulations on getting a job. Thank you so much for accepting it, and welcome to the Lowndes community.
Thanks, Larry.
Yes, sir.
Happy to be here.
Absolutely. We'll see you around the campus, Coach.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
I told you guys this was going to be a fun show tonight, right? It's not every show that we get to talk about the region champ baseball team with Ryan Page talking about the swagger and the studs that he's got going into the playoffs, followed up with you can tell, a very high energy new offensive coordinator for the Lowndes football team. It was fun. So let me get your thoughts. Let me get some feedback from you. What did you think? What was your takeaway? Did you like what you heard? Did you not like what you heard? Give me your opinion. This is your time, your feedback. If you want to call into the show, give us a call at 229-469-1205. If not, if you don't want to call the Migraine and Spine Clinic hotline, you can give us a comment, post your comment on the White Oak Investment comment line. We'll take either or. We'll take both if you want to. But I really personally, man, I loved his energy. I loved it. Don Lockhart nails it. He says, I liked his energy. Absolutely, Don. I mean, that stood out. I loved that. And you know what? His players are really, really going to respond to that. I bet you. Casey Harrell says, so excited. I liked it all. Absolutely. There was just more than one or two or five things to like. Right, Casey? Brian Spray says, this is what I got out of it. Brian says, throw, tight end. That's funny. Now, let me kind of pull the throttle back a little bit, guys. Let me pull the throttle back. Don Bailey is used to working with college athletes, used to recruiting the athletes that he wants to fit his system, right? And I'm sure that he is going to install his system, but we got to give it some time. Be patient. I know you're all hyped. That's kind of what I was kind of worried about a little bit, because after talking to him at the open house tonight, I got a sense of what he was going to say. I kind of knew where this was headed, but man, I like what I hear. But let's give it time. Let's be patient. We got to walk before we can run. And I get the feeling that he wants to run, right? I'm not talking about just run the football. You know what I'm talking. He wants to get out of the gate fast. I told you the 4 words that he shared with me tonight was what? Play fast, score points. Play fast, score points. So obviously we've heard other coaches say that before, but I get the feeling this guy means it. And I'm hoping he does. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm definitely in his corner. And what do you think about the Adam Carter era and his fast start at Lowndes Vikings football? Man, I gotta confess something to you guys. Every time a new coach is hired, whether it was Jamie DuBose, Zach Grage, Adam Carter, I always approach it with skepticism, just because I'm used to talking to coaches, because that's what I do. I interview coaches. I've interviewed some of the most prominent head football coaches all across the country, with Joe Mamone, my counterpart with National High School Football. And by the way, if you haven't checked out our website, nationalhsfb.com, that's where we talk about high school football on a national scale all year round. So I had Zach Poff. By the way, this is a little tangent. I had Zach Poff. He is the national football editor for Max Preps. And so Joe and I interviewed him earlier this week, Monday night. And so that's posted on the Pregame Blitz YouTube channel. But Zach has agreed to come on this show. So I'm trying to get him to make a live appearance next Thursday night to talk about high school football and the way he sees it, and what he thinks that local high school teams need to do to get that national exposure, because that's what he does. He works at the national level. So I've had a chance to talk to all these prominent head coaches. So I'm always skeptical, because a lot of coaches sound the same. But when you talk to someone, you kind of know up front if they're genuine or not, if they truly believe what they say. When I talk to Adam Carter, when I talk to Don Bailey, I sense that they truly mean what they say, and they're just not shooting me a line. So I'm in their corner. I'm in their corner. I get asked all the time, what do you think about Adam Carter as a new head coach? Like, what do you expect me to say? He's our new head coach. So I'm going to give him 100% support until he doesn't deserve it anymore. That's all you can do as a fan, right? So, man, I am all on board the Adam Carter train. And I love this guy, Don Bailey, this new offensive coordinator. And so we've got, we plan to bring on all the assistant coaches, not just new ones, but existing, returning assistant coaches as well. So I've gotten the green light from Adam Carter to have all these guys onto the program. So that's what we plan to do. Not all at one time, obviously, because there's a lot of them. But over the course of the next several months, we're going to have a continuous chorus of new coaches coming to the show to talk about their positions, what they see in their initial assessment, that kind of stuff. So be sure to tune in every Thursday. If you can't watch us live, watch us on the replay, watch us on the archived edition. Let us know what you think. Man, I am so excited. So excited. Candace Marie, glad to see that you're joining the chat tonight. I had a chance to talk to Jalen earlier tonight at the open house. He's gotten taller. He's taller than I remember. And I asked him how fast he was running now. He says his 40 times like 4 or 5, something like that. And then later on, I don't mean to be stoking competition or anything like that, but later on I talked to Smoke Fleming. And I asked him, well, what is your 40 time? He says 4 or 5. I said, are you faster than Jalen? And he says, well, I'm not going to reveal what he said, but you can imagine what he said. So I would love to see those two race. It would be so fun to watch. So anyway, if you haven't seen, guys, I got to show you this. If you have not seen the new, I got to say that right, the new multi-purpose facility, I'm going to show you some photos that I took tonight. Now that I've seen it up close and personal and it's finally finished, hold on, let me make this a full screen. I think I can do this and have you guys hear me at the same time. Guys, check this out. Check this out. Well, first of all, can you hear me if I'm off the screen? I think you can. So here's the outside. This is the front view of it. And just the way they have not painted the building, or I still call it the barn, but anyway, the new facility, the lettering on there is spot on. Love the Viking shield. So now here is the actual ribbon cutting with all the dignitaries, superintendent, Leanne McCall, the principal. You got all the board members of their administration officials, booster club members, that kind of stuff. So congratulations to all these folks for a fantastic ribbon cutting and open house. Look how does this kind of give it scale? So yeah, when you're outside, it looks big, it looks massive, but when you are inside, oh my gosh, this picture does not do it justice. So look how big this thing is. So it is a full size football field, 120 yards. It is a full size facility. It's I was asked by so many board members, well, so what do you think? It's like, man, this is college level stuff. This is fantastic. So here's a little shot of the end zone, that kind of stuff. And so that is that's all the pictures that I took from the open house tonight. So here's this real talk that I like to have with you guys. And you know me, LG is known for real talk. So if you had to describe me, I'm not a complete homer and I'm not a complete 100% objective guy. I'm somewhere in the middle. So when I see something, I'm always going to try to put a positive spin on it. But if I see something terribly wrong, I'm going to let you know about that as well. So here's my initial assessment. I love what I see so far. I don't see any flaws. I don't, as far as the football program goes and the way it's being set up. We're going to see, I guess the proof is going to be in the product that's put on the field. But everything, all the decisions that's made leading into the product being put on the field, love it. Love it so far. Love it. So I can't wait to get Ashley Anders on the show to talk about, he is the defensive coordinator, second-year defensive coordinator for Lowndes football. Excuse me. And I can't wait to get him on the show to talk about his plans for the defense. The defense, I don't think, needs to be revamped. I mean, we had a pretty talented group last year. They were just young. So with the years of experience under their belt and, you got those kids that are bigger, they're stronger, they're faster. So they should be even better and more improved over what they were last year, right? And so now you've got, I think, possibly a new defensive scheme. We ran a 3-man front last year. We also ran a 4-man front. But Adam Carter's defensive scheme, because he's a defensive-minded coach, he loves the 3-3 stack. So I'm interested to find out from Coach Anders, what is the difference between the 3-man front that we saw last year versus the 3-3 stack that we probably are projected to run this year going into the future. So I can't wait to hear his story and his side of the football, because we heard from Don Baylor a lot of awesome things in store for the offensive side. I'm anticipating a lot of awesome things to hear from the defensive side of the football as well. And so we'll have to see. So we'll have the special teams coordinator into that, and that's Coach Corey McCullough. You know, he is he comes from the Southwestern Atlantic Conference. So, man, a lot of coaches that have a lot of college experience. You know, they've coached in high school as well. But you get the feeling that something special is being built here. And that's not me trying to oversell. This is just me as a fan observing and sharing with you my observation. I may be wrong. I don't think I am, but I may be. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. So May 4th can't get here fast enough. Can't wait. David Carter says it. He's got this comment. He says, hold on, Viking Nation. All the coaches are coming in wide open. Wide open. Excuse me 1 second. All the coaches are coming in wide. Absolutely. Franklin Webb says, Franklin, I got a chance to meet you at the open house tonight, man. Appreciate you introducing yourself. Love to meet fans and talk to you guys, get to know you a little bit. So now I put a face with the comments and that kind of stuff. So appreciate you, brother, introducing yourself tonight at the open house. Franklin says, I talked to him today and he said a 3-man line. Georgia coach Trainer says, Trainer, I don't know what you mean by this. I don't know what you mean by this. Trainer says 3-3 stack is what TCU runs. Absolutely. And we saw what happened. Well, that's a little bit different, don't you think? Because what was being run at the TCU defense was a very stout Georgia Bulldog offense, don't you think? I mean, they've got some stellar athletes there at UGA. That's what I've been told anyway, right? But we do know that it does work on the high school. Look, Camden County runs 3-3 stack. That's where Adam Carter learned it from, I think. And Jeff Herron knows what he's doing when it comes to coaching defensive football. So I get the feeling that it's not going to be terribly different than what we're used to seeing with a 3-man front, with a little twist. I'm sure that's why they call it the stack. But regardless of what defensive scheme that you run, you got to have, one, coaches that know how to coach it. And then 2, you got to have players that receive that coaching well and are able to execute it. That's basically the combination for all these positions, right? Whether it's offense or defense. So I understand what you guys are saying about the TCU deal and that kind of stuff, but you got to admit, TCU had a pretty phenomenal season going into that game, don't you think? So I think it's been proven at all levels that no matter what defensive scheme that you run, whether it's a 4-man front, 5, whether it's a nickel defense, whether it's 3-man front, whatever defensive scheme, whatever offensive scheme, it's got to be executed well. And it's really going to come down to that. Players and coaches getting on the same page, practicing it over and over again, and executing it well on Friday nights. That's all we can expect. So speaking of that, the very first game of the season is when? August 19th, I think, at the Georgia-Carolina Challenge over there in Moultrie. Remember, guys, that is a 4:00 game. So make sure you put your sunscreen on. You might want to bring an umbrella to shade yourself from the sun. I hope Colquitt allows umbrellas into that stadium just to keep the sun off of us. Because, come on, guys, it's a 4:00 game. It's going to be hot. It's going to be hot, right? But we're playing who? Christ. I think it's, is it Christ School out of North Carolina? I can't remember the exact name of the school, but I think that's right. Wilbur Pelfrey. Wilbur, it was great seeing you at the open house. Wilbur says that if you got the Jimmies and Joes, you just got to get them to the ball on defense. Absolutely. Christ School is a small in numbers, but they have plenty of D1 players. Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of these private schools, that's what you see. You remember American Heritage came up here last year. They didn't have a huge team as far as numbers goes, but man, did they have the athletes. Y'all remember the athletes that American Heritage had that we played in that first game last year? Oh my gosh, did they have some studs? So that's what Coach Trainer is saying. That these teams may be small, these private schools that travel all around to play these games. They may be small, as far as numbers wise, but they are usually pretty loaded off defense. Now, I get the feeling though that Lowndes is going to handle their business pretty well in that first game. That's my impression. Anyway, I may be wrong. They may be better than I think, but I think Lowndes is going to be handling business pretty well that night. So anyway, listen, I had planned to do a crazy hat segment tonight because I remembered that I've got another headdress, another hat, if you will, but I could not find it in time for tonight's show. So if you were tuning in, waiting for the crazy hat segment sponsored by the Migraine and Spine Clinic, it ain't happening tonight because I couldn't find it. Because guys, listen, I was down in Gainesville today, Gainesville, Florida, that is, in Gatorland, doing some business down there. Had to rush back up here. I left Gainesville at 3:30, got back up here around 5:30, 5:15, something like that. Met my good friend Bubba Price. We walked into the open house at the indoor facility, multi-purpose facility, and then I left around 6 o'clock. And the reason I left is just rush home to do this show. Right. So it's been a very, very busy day. So that's why I didn't have time to make sure I had the proper hat in store, the pictures that go along with it, that kind of stuff. But that'll be returning next week. So stay tuned because we like to have a good time with that cowboy hat and these crazy hats. Right. So anyway, just a little not a sneak peek, but a little preview about what we're going to be doing later on this summer. And I had a chance to confirm it with the chairman of the Board of Education at Lowndes tonight at the open house. And I think this is a great idea. We were talking about, obviously, me being the curious person that I am. I had a chance to talk to him about some of the things that's going on in the community, with the school system, that kind of stuff. But he looked at me, he says, Larry, there is so much good stuff. I mean, really, really good stuff going on in the school system that I would love to talk about. I said, Ronnie, let's talk about it. So when I have this feeling that at the end of the school year, we're going to have some really, really good information coming back from the state about how well the school system is doing as far as grades and numbers and that kind of stuff. So the chairman of the board has agreed to come on to the show sometime this summer to talk about how well the school system is doing. And I can't wait because, guys, we got some good stuff going on. We really do. So, yeah, we're going to get to the bottom of this other stuff, but at the same time, we are going to celebrate all the great stuff that's happening in the Lowndes community and specifically at Lowndes County Schools. So, anyway, so what are you guys chatting about? Greg Maddox says, Greg Maddox. Greg says, I'm waiting to see you in the Plowboy straw hat. Greg, that's coming. That's coming. But I can't reveal all these hats at one time. Trainer says, almost forgot. Viking fans can watch Ja'Cory Brown and Thomas Davis tomorrow at 7:30 on the Miami spring game on the ACC network. That's right. I appreciate the heads up, man. Ja'Cory and Thomas, both on the Miami Hurricane squad, and they are going to be playing in the spring game tomorrow night, 7:30. So I appreciate that. Candace, it's going to happen. We're going to do it. We are. Because you know what? If other media outlets are not going to celebrate and report the good stuff along with the other stuff, we're going to do it for them. So I'm going to challenge them tonight. I know they got a job to do as keeping the public informed, that kind of stuff. But doggone it, we got teachers doing great jobs. We got administrators doing great jobs. We got students doing phenomenal work. And so as a community, there's a lot of great stuff going on, and I'm going to sing about it every single day because we are the Viking Nation, right? So with that said, guys, we're going to wrap it up for tonight's show. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate you you sticking with us every single week, because I think we do produce some pretty good content here, and we'll continue to do that as long as the Lord gives me breath to do it. So until we meet again next week, celebrate the Lowndes community. So may God bless you. And as always, go Vikings. Adios.